This what y'all want me to read?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Warning. The following show is intended for mature audiences and contains adult content, graphic language, harsh topics, absurd opinions, and unrestrained points of view. Listeners' discretion is advised. Any views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and belong solely to this podcast owners and do not represent those of people, institutions, or organizations that the owners may or may not be associated with in professional or personal capacity. Unless explicitly stated, any views or opinions are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, or individual. Thank you for listening.
Oh, y'all serious, huh? Flip-flopped.
All right, yo.
Pero que tú no entiendes lo que te estoy diciendo.
All right, man, so to start off the conversation. Oh, shit. I'm already making noise I'm not supposed to be making. All right, so music. Music, the universal language. So I have an issue with music now in the 2020s. I want to ask, like, where are the Metallicas and the Nirvanas and the Buena Vista social clubs and
But has it really changed though? Has your perspective really changed in 2020, or have gradually you seen the? Well, it depends what kind of music you're what genre you're talking about.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, okay, now
just in general, just music in general.
Just in general, I have not heard a single band that I can say that is a monster, a beast, a what do you call that? Like that they create music that's almost universal to the point where let me compare it to Metallica. All right, even though that's just one genre, heavy metal. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one though.
Okay, if you go to fucking Brazil, there's gonna be fans out there. If you go to Europe, there's gonna be fans out there.
Whoa.
If you go to, who knows, maybe even some fucking little farm town in Vietnam, there's gonna be fans out there because of their music. Their music is, I want to say, it's very well produced musically to the point where you don't even have to understand the lyrics to be able to get into it. And that's what I mean. Like, you know, they're like, and I also brought up like Buena Vista Social Club. Okay. You know who Buena Vista Social Club is?
The Cuban quintet. Yeah. What is it called?
Yeah. There, I think there's more than there's more than five.
It's an orchestra.
But they do, you know, it's like jazz blues, but once again,
Latin jazz, kind of.
Jazz is beautiful.
It's a mixture of sounds, of different African sounds and whatnot.
Yeah, but it's beautiful. And once again though, it's universal. I went to go see Buena Vista Social Club live in Northridge. I want to say maybe like 12, 14 years ago, somewhere around there. Okay.
Live.
It was a beautiful experience. But here's the thing though.
I was fucking cha-chaing to that shit. Like I felt like I was there when I used to play that. Like when I used to play their music, you know, the trumpet.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's the trumpet is a beautiful instrument. But here's the thing, though. That crowd was all races. It was very diverse. It wasn't just Cubans in the building. It was very diverse. And that's the beauty of it, where, you know, you put on a song and even if you don't understand the lyrics, just the music itself speaks to you, and the tones and the singing and the notes and everything, it speaks to you to the point where it's like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. Well, obviously I do because I speak Spanish, but, you know, I could be from a different race and it's like, I don't understand what the fuck they're saying, but god damn, this is beautiful.
So yeah, so it goes back to, I guess you can't categorize. I mean, you could in the industry you categorize genre, but but music is universal because the way it makes the individual feel at a certain moment, or you know what I'm saying, going through the motion of that sound, because that's why I disagree with some of the music now, but a portion of it gets me into a feel state. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it brings that it either brings inspiration or it brings me energy. You get what I'm saying? To where I gotta get moving to it, do something to it, and which most of the time I'm always doing something. So I use the music, you know what I'm saying, as a stimulant, like drinking tea, right? I like drinking green tea because I like that little kick, that high.
Right.
That's what music does, right? So I understand your point about the classical rock. That's a whole different kind of sound, right? And not only the sound, but if you do understand the lyrics, the language that the song's being sung in, some of the lyrics are real heavy because there's always messages behind the lyrics.
Right.
But then that's trippy because there's the message behind the lyrics to people that understand the song, and then those who don't understand the language that the song's being sung in, but still feel a certain energy that it communicates to them in a whole different fucking way, and then they're not even hearing the lyrics itself. That's trippy right there.
Let's take into consideration the Doors, the song "The End." Okay.
See what he's talking about there.
He's talking about death, but here's the thing though. The song itself, if you don't understand the lyrics, it carries you.
It's telling a story. Yes, telling the story.
With the instruments, with the there's a rise in it. There's a part that rises and crashes, and then it comes back very calm and smooth again. You know, and I think these transitions, I'm a huge Black Sabbath fan, okay? Not because of, you know, people think, oh, Black Sabbath, the devil's music, and they were worshiping the devil. No, dude. If you listen to their lyrics, and forget about the lyrics. They have so many different breaks in their songs that you're hearing the song, and then when you hear the break, it sounds like an entirely different song. So they change the rhythm, they change the riffs, they change the bass line, and then they bring it back to the original sound. It's beautiful. Most of their songs are like that. The Doors did that a lot. Zeppelin has some breakdowns like that, but their breakdowns are a little more trippy. But that's just it. Most of the songs now are so just one, maybe just the hooks and the chorus, and it's done. There's no rise in tempo. There's no, it's very stagnant. It's very static. It's just one continuous song. And I could be wrong. If you people know about people that I should listen to, bands that I should listen to, by all means, put it in the comments. But I think that at some point or another, all of that kind of got put in the back burner, and now it's just kind of more systematic.
It's simple. It's like we said it before. It's a disposable. A lot of disposable music. Because most of it has no backbone to it. And you know why? Because most of the music now is there's more synthesized.
Yeah.
There's not that much real instruments being played by genius musicians. And going back to the sounds that you were explaining about bands like Black Sabbath, where they have so many breaks. The geniuses behind the engineering or the composition itself of the song, or the arrangers of the song, arranging the where all the breaks and edits and all that's going. That's a whole different. Aside from the writer, the singer, the guy playing the guitar, the riff, that note, the drummer. Aside from all that, there's always someone behind arranging that sound, That's what makes it so original. That's what makes that builds that sound that everybody's looking for. Like, you cannot compare. Is
Right.
that it's magic. It's magic. You can't duplicate it. It's magic.
I think what I'm trying to get at is if you listen to classical music is I'm not heavily studied in music, but classical music has so many instruments and rises and falls, and it carries you through this whole turmoil of emotions, and it'll be just one sonata or one song that was like you said, arranged in a certain way that it becomes a feeling, and the feelings change, and it's just instruments. And that's I think a lot of classic rock implemented a lot of the classical music type of arrangements to portray certain feelings and certain messages and whatnot. And I think that's missing now because of what you said. Now it's all synthesizers and drum machines, and it's all created in computers. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Everybody that's doing your thing, keep doing your thing, man. It's beautiful. Music is a lovely, beautiful thing. But I just go back to it. And once again, I'm old. I'm an older person. When I was in high school, I was listening to classic rock. Once I finally got out of high school, then I heard the Nirvanas and the Rages Against the Machines and the System of a Down. I came in late to the game, but there was still those, and I'm just talking about one genre. You could call grunge metal and heavy metal and black metal and all this shit. But at the end of the day, it's fucking metal, right? But there were arrangements, and there were the notes and the instruments that were used to portray a band and portray the sound that they wanted and all these things. And I think that nowadays, where are the Jimi Hendrixes, man? Where are the Ray Manzarek's on organs? Where are the the old even bass lines and bass players from the bass player from fucking Black Sabbath is an animal, dude. He fucking boom, 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 he does all this crazy shit, and the bass is the most underrated instrument, I think, in music. A lot of people don't know what, and the bass carries a lot of the song, but that's just it. I the last person that I saw do something really creative with music like this is was this dude from the White Stripes, Jack White.
Jack White.
Yeah, Jack White.
Man.
I get him confused with Jack Black. Jack White, man. Jack White is a fucking genius.
He's a genius.
Yes, absolutely.
He's a freaking genius, bro. You know he plays more than I think more than four instruments.
Yeah,
he plays everything pretty much: drums, guitar, bass.
But does he play the rusty trombone?
By the way, you know what I'm saying? He might play it though.
Yeah, he might. I'd let him play it on me. Yeah, but that's just it though. But I haven't seen, and once again, I might be disconnected because now I don't really listen to the radio. Now it's more like streaming and shit, and the game's changed. And I might be missing out on really, really great music that's out there that I just haven't tapped into because of the fact that and now that a lot of bands are doing everything on their own without labels.
Independent.
Yeah, they're all independent because now the social platforms have given them the voice that they need. There's no need for a record label to promote.
It's a lot simpler for them to get their music out, and not only simpler but to start a movement, regardless if you're a good artist or you're just because man, this is another subject, but it goes along with the history of music.
Mm-hmm.
And the history of music is like, and industry wise, it's like stocks. It rises and it has a fall.
Right.
In between every genre, right? So like, there is that level of music where so in that genre of music, there's either in that era itself, there's a few artists that come out that really
dominate,
bring a huge impact to that sound, that specific sound,
right?
And then you got the rest,
right,
of the artists in that genre of music that are just they don't have the same, you know what I'm saying? They don't have the same feel or the same strength of that same artist that make that impact. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Music is like stocks. So it all rise up, and then you have those specific artists that challenge the sound, that people that get the people that feeling of certain, and it doesn't have to be from certain, because music is universal. For example, if we go back to Buena Vista, most of those sounds come from the African culture, right?
Yeah.
African sound, most of it. Because why? Because a lot of those musicians were
Cuba. I think Africans were brought to Cuba as well,
dominant
as slaves.
Yes.
In fact, I could be wrong, and you guys could correct me, but Santeria was basically
voodoo?
The voodoo gods and their deities or whatever, and they just kind of hid them within the Catholic structure as saints, but they actually represent an older, I don't want to call it religion, but it's more tradition, that they worship these certain deities and whatnot. And so that's the reason why, the Cuban instruments and all this stuff, there is no, in my opinion, and once again, it's just my opinion, but acoustic sounds are untouchable, in my opinion. They are fucking beautiful. There is no synthesizer in the world that's gonna sound better than
an electric coming out of it. It's simple. It's simple, handmade by man.
Yep.
To create those sounds,
It's crafted. It's crafted from the very instrument to the sound, and that's the beauty of
engineering.
Yes,
engineering by hand, crafted to create those sounds with the individual putting soul into it.
Right.
That's trip. Putting soul into it. That's another term.
That's a whole other level, man.
Putting soul into it.
That's a whole other level, because to create, you're putting your time and effort, your essence into that instrument by creating it. Yeah, love. Absolutely.
And there's still a lot of instruments that have never been, because man, just the history of sound, the history of sound itself, the origins, which cannot be explained. Why, because you have vocal, you have the everything sound itself, but then to create rhythm and music off of that certain sounds, because sounds are like colors. Right. You could see if you really analyze sound within your consciousness or your subconsciousness, every sound has a color. Yeah. There's moods to the color, feelings, moods, emotions, is all intact. It comes from the same. So engineering of instrument that you put soul into it acoustically to create that sound that you're feeling, emotion through sound. You know what I'm saying? You feed that, and that's why those individuals that could play monstrously, like the bass player from
Black Sabbath, yeah,
not a lot. Even if you're a badass musician, they can't mimic that dude. They can't mimic him, because there's something within him that allows him to be able to connect with that instrument and make that sound. Not anybody could do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regardless of how good you could be in reading notes and music.
I always go back on that topic. I always go back to Jimi Hendrix, man. Jimi Hendrix's fucking guitar to this day is unparalleled. It's beyond insanity. The fuzz.
Uncomparable.
Yeah, uncomparable. The fuzz that he used, the wah-wah, the ability to look, let me tell you this much. I've dropped acid more than 20, 30 plus times. And in all those times that I dropped acid, not once did it ever fucking occur to me to pick up a musical instrument, let alone play like a fucking god. He was born, he was molded, he was created by the fucking universe to pick that instrument up and to be able to just fucking shred it, dude. And to create a sound that is unparalleled to no one, maybe in the next 20 years, I could be wrong. There might be a kid out there that nobody knows about that's like, oh yeah, Jimi Hendrix, yeah, let's leave him behind and fucking do this, blah, 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 whatever. But once again, certain people are born, they're made, they're created to just have the ability to just see an instrument and don't get me wrong, that goes all around. You have all these people that create buildings and architecture, and you have people that create engines for motors and shit, and Ferraris, and you have people people are born with certain talents and certain things, and but these guys, I think that and I think that I could be wrong once again, but I think that it's missing now, especially with mainstream music, and I think it's got a lot to do with
damn, that's a heavier topic.
Yeah,
because mainstream music is no longer a movement of power or just being free. The mainstream music is now a profitable, huge business.
Right. And this goes back to my whole thing about let's talk about hip hop real fast.
Which I ain't mad at.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
I ain't mad at.
It's fine. Everybody, like I said, everybody has their own opinion. Everybody's opinions are respected.
And as a musician or artist myself, I can't be mad at, certain artists that
are capitalizing.
No, you can't. You can't be mad at them because I'll you know what I'm saying. You if you have the chance, you do it. But there's certain things that if you're mainstream, you're obviously following orders. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. So we're talking to the whole. Start talking about the whole management aspect of it and how the record companies basically create.
Well, what you got to put out. You don't want to. You're not. They're not gonna allow you to put out what you want to put out.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, and that's the reason why I'm not upset, but I just don't like the state of hip hop where it is now because of these reasons. Because I think that there are a lot of lyricists out there that can still portray a message, and maybe you could help me name a couple because I stopped listening to hip hop maybe 15 years ago. But here's the thing.
I mean, the one I could call is KRS-One. That's the one I always go back to.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, I'm talking about new school though.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing though. It's gotten to the point where these guys have talent. They actually go on these radio shows like what's this dude Sway in the Morning, and what's the other guy Flex, and they go on these different shows and they freestyle and they have all this talent and all this stuff, but then what they put out isn't what they can actually freestyle and flow. I think it's more catchy. I think it's more it's more suited to what the label wants. And I think that's my whole thing where people say like, oh, well, when you sign a contract to make music and make millions of dollars, you sign your soul away. I don't really think that they're selling their soul to the devil or Illuminati or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. I don't think it's that. I just think they say it that way because, you're no longer in control of what you're gonna spew out.
Exactly.
You're following orders, like you said. You're gonna have an ABC agenda of things that they want you to do, how they want you to sound. They already have the engineer that's gonna add the auto tune and the mix it in his way or her way, whatever it may be. And I think that's dumbing down the entire industry. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, there's new music out there that might speak to everyone and whatnot, but if you really think back on it, hip hop has always been about lyricism in my book, and the other thing is, you have all these rap battle, King of the Dot being one of the main ones, where these guys actually go out there and they battle and insult each other and whatnot. But they're very creative. And I think that creative spark isn't being implemented in all these new songs. I think that's what it's lacking. I think that's, and once again, I could be wrong. You guys could recommend me some songs, teach the old head over here about something new and whatnot. But yeah, it's,
I think if you're speaking about hip hop in this era is no longer hip hop, so it's a rooted different title of hip hops and rap and whatnot, because now you got trap.
Yeah.
Well, how the hell did trap come up? And why trap? You get
trap,
what I'm saying?
There's
I think stating hip hop in general now, you can't even state it. It's not in general. It's just not hip hop.
Yeah.
It ain't where it ain't rooted no more.
Yeah.
It ain't where hip and hop came from. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it goes back to like one of the things that I don't like, but I guess you have to have it is the subgenres. I go back to it where it's like, okay, well, there's metal, but there's black metal, speed metal, heavy metal, grunge, whatever. There's like 20, 30 fucking subcategories, and I think hip hop has gotten to the point where, yes, there's like underground hip hop, and there's rap, and there's trap, and there's
all that,
all these other little subgenres and whatnot. But I do think that it was rooted. Hip hop was rooted in revolt. It was rooted in upheaval and in feeling pride as a minority. It was empowering, in my opinion. You have the KRS-Ones, you have the Public Enemies, you have all these people that were speaking truth about, shit, NWA. They were just painting a portrait, man. And people related because they understood it. They understood the portrait because of the oppression, because of the, the shit that was happening back in the day, which it's kind of happening again. But yeah, it's to the point where all that kind of died out and dried up, and it just became a whole different animal. It became a whole different. Some people say it evolved, other people say it devolved. But at the end of the day, I truly believe that hip hop being more about lyricism should be more about having and portraying a certain message.
Which has always been.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you liked, like myself, you like the music, you like the sound, you could relate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could relate. And then you got the contrary, where you can relate because you've been there, you lived that life, or you experience it, whatnot, etc. And we're talking about hip hop itself, right? Where we came from, and the similarities that those specific artists speak about. But then we got the other side of hip hop, right? Where you have those specific artists that have been through that similar lifestyle, and that's why they're speaking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the other side, where half of them are actors.
Oh yeah.
And they're selling a product.
Right.
They're selling a product to a consumer.
Right.
The consumer is the ones on the sideline, like us, that we actually grew up around that specific city, that movement, that crisis, that era.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then and I think that's what separates underground, mainstream, but in the same level of a message.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, and I like NWA, maybe not hardcore. I'm not a hardcore fan. I just related to the specific energy that it fed me when I was listening to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Riding dirty.
Right.
Running from the cops.
Right.
Dipping. Compton. You know, where I was born. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Right? But then, you know, you have they're portraying an image. They're gangster. They're thug. They don't give a fuck. Fuck the police. And then you have people that are starting listening to them, never listened to them, but they heard it for this first time, and they get pumped. But they never really lived that life. They never really lived that life. But then guess what? After a whole album, they're thugging.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It convinced them from.
No, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, right? That's what separates. That's what separates the influence of music, right? So you got the real shit. You understand. You live that life. You've been through it. You can feel it. You rock to it.
Yeah.
You rock to it because you feel it, right? And then you got the other side, where you rock to it because you know it's hot, but you never lived that life. And guess what? You're being sold a product. You're gonna start living that life. You're gonna get thugged out.
right.
You want to slap a bitch, call a girl a fucking hoe,
and
run from the cops,
and try to get bands and go to the strip club and
that shit. Okay, that
marry
shit.
a stripper and what are all these other songs?
Now you want to carry drip.
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
Now these days you want to carry drip.
Yeah, you want to get your grill and
and you want to wear skinny jeans, which is cool. I'm not mad at skinny jeans.
I'm sorry, dude. I come from the baggy pants era, and I need to have my nuts hanging. So,
but you get what I'm saying. I'm not mad at the skinny jeans.
Yeah, right.
I'm not mad at them.
No, whatever. Once again, man, I'm not. I'm not here to fucking cause any kind of embarrassment or prejudice towards whatever. The kids wear whatever the hell they want to wear. My parents didn't like what I was wearing. Their parents didn't like what they were wearing, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not here to hate on anyone. If you want to wear tighty whities and some pants where you can see the fucking head of your dick through, then by all means, go ahead. But
so now talking about hip hop still right in that subject. There's a lot of artists that I would say like 2015 and up, right?
Okay,
like
that's fair.
There's specific artists like If we go to coast, one of the artists that I heard myself, plenty of them, are from the South. Some of them from the West Coast. Some of them from the East. And the ones that I could recall from 15 to 2020 right now, that I will say that I could say, okay, like if you're talking lyrically or word play, that you're like, oh shit. Damn, he's hitting the beat how it's supposed to, regardless of the message. It doesn't matter. But like, for example, T.I.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a dude that obviously.
But he lived it.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah, he lived that shit.
That's why I bring him up.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking. 2015.
Yeah.
You know, without going too old school, like he lived that life.
Yeah.
He's done it. Right?
Beyond, actually.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's something else.
That's what
Isn't he acting now? Isn't he in fucking movies?
He's been acting.
Yeah, right?
He's been acting.
Damn.
But see, this is so he's not the new age, but he's one of the pioneers of what's going on right now. that trap sound.
Yeah,
you know
right.
The high tempo beat.
Yeah.
I mean the low tempo beat, but hi hats.
Yeah, hi hats, quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So he's one of those pioneers, but he was living a fucking life.
Yeah,
he was really living it.
Yeah,
he was talking about it.
That motherfucker should have been in NWA.
And
he had more of a right to be in NWA than Cube, even though Cube was writing everything for them. But you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Cube. Cube has always been one of my favorite, but you know, from my understanding, like you know, Cube never really he might have done dirt, but not dirt like T.I. did.
But not to
and it's not a comparison. It's fucking facts, and you can look it up.
It's just facts. It's facts. It's
until by the way, until Cube became, or well, he was a Muslim already. I'm not sure how far back, but until they tried interviewing him and calling him anti-Semitic and all that shit, and Cube fucking stepped it up and put everybody in their fucking place. My hat's off to Cube for that. I've always respected that, and yeah, man.
I think it. So, I think it falls in the same subject right now because now we go back to that role play and storytelling.
Right.
I think if you have that capability, and now I understand that at this age, that if you have a capability and you can monetize from it,
use it.
Why the fuck won't you?
Absolutely.
You can't be a hot-headed. You're either creating your reality or you're not.
Right.
It's just what it is.
Yep.
It is what it is. Because regardless, if you're living in cuckoo land, then you ain't ready for life.
Mm-hmm.
But if you live as it goes, but you use it strategically to build, which what these dudes did.
Time out. They're coming up.
Let's get another round.
Yeah, let's get another round. I gotta fucking take a massive piss.